So that comes right off your marketing budget. You now have $500 and some odd $1,000 left to do the rest of what you need to do. Down here you've got a customer service budget. In the case of a Channel 1 dealer, if somebody has a problem, they'll probably call the dealer back, and the dealer will probably answer their question. It's not going to cost you an awful lot. Your customer service line, if it is going to deal with somebody in the dealer side, it might even be someone at the dealership who already knows your product. So they'll be an easy client to look after. On the wholesale side, if people are buying it online, they may be more likely to phone your customer service line and ask questions and really tie up your customer service personnel. So you need to decide how much money you're going to put towards customer service. It's going to impact your product. Maybe not this year, but in year 2. And you're going to be doing this, by the way, there will be 5 years of simulator. So if you spend too little money on customer service in the first year, you may find that the simulation says, well, your customers were disappointed with their customer service, and in year 2 they won't buy your product. Instead, this is where the competition works, they'll buy from the other 3 companies that you're competing against. Their sales might go up because you made a mistake in your decision. So the simulation actually plays all 4 companies off against each other. So the book, I believe, does $92,000 for customer service in the example they showed you in the book. You need to come up with a brand name for your product. I'm just going to put my name in here. It doesn't matter, 8 characters, it doesn't matter what it is, be creative. Throw a brand name in, that's the brand name for your product. I do not believe that the brand name has any impact in the actual competition itself. I may be wrong, but I don't believe it does. The product is made up of 3 elements: special commands, error protection, and ease of learning. All of that's described in the book. It's a voice recognition tool or device for computers. So you have the ability to modify your device any way you like, but modifying your device has costs associated with it which come out of your marketing budget. The product starts off with 8 special commands, three levels of error protection, and rating on a scale of 1 to 10 of 3 for the ease of learning. You can make it extremely easy to learn by making out of 10, but there's a cost associated with that. You can add lots of special commands that power users might use, but there's a cost associated to that. You're going to have to decide based on your target market, to which there are 5 potential groups of people that buy your product, what kind of mix you want and which market you want to target, or which markets you want to build this product for. Keep in mind that all the other groups are going to be also making these decisions. And when this gets plugged into the simulation, the success of their product may cause you to do poorly in one of those market segments. So there's going to be give and take. So all these things cost you, and the formula is in the book. I'll also provide Tim with this little spreadsheet that I worked out in my class, that I know you're taking a spreadsheet class right now, your SMS 202. But as you go through that class, you might want to take a look at the little spreadsheet that I built and realize that what you're learning in that class can actually really help you make decisions here. Excel is a great tool for allowing you to very quickly mix numbers together and get results. And I think this is a classic example of, if I change this to 10, I change this to 5, and I change this to 4, what's it going to cost me? I don't know. I could do it on a piece of paper, but then I'm a calculator. But in Excel, I just have to plug the numbers in, and bang, I've got an answer in a second. And I can try different combinations and figure it out. So I provided the students in my class, and I'll give it to Tim so he can give it to you, just a starting spreadsheet that you're going to want to change and modify as you learn to sort of do some of that for yourself. I think it'll give you an edge. And it's certainly a tool you'll be using when you go out in industry. Next thing, how many are you going to make? Your company needs to manufacture these products, and you need to sell them. In order to generate profit, you need to estimate how many you're going to make. You have to figure out how much you're going to sell it for, because that will determine how much profit, how much loss your company is actually going to incur. You have to predict or forecast, and Chapter 18 talked about forecasting, forecast the number of items you're actually going to sell. The danger here is your company is very flexible. If you pick a number, and let's say it's $25,000, 25,000 units, Your company can scale up to produce 20% more than what you estimated without any penalties or any problems. Your company can downsize production to produce 20% less with no costs being incurred to you. So you have a spread of 20% on either side of that number where you're safe. If you go over, if your demand is 35,000, 40,000 units, the problem is you can't manufacture them, which means your customers they still want them, will go to your competition, which means your sales will go to your competitor, which means their bottom line, they may get a boost in their sales that they weren't anticipating. Not because they did something correctly, but because you did something incorrectly. You didn't forecast correctly. On the flip side, the company that gets this boost, be careful. Why did you have a boost? Was it because you picked the products correctly, or was it because your competitor screwed up? This is where you're going to have to analyze the numbers and make marketing decisions based on the information and the statistics you'll get each year. Does that make sense? You can spend money on advertising. In the book, the illustration shows $250,000 being spent on advertising. Advertising is great. Problem is, depending on, your advertising is going to help everybody. So if it's general advertising on a general product, well, that's going to help everybody. And so your advertising might boost sales for other companies. So you have to think about that. It's going to help you. It could also help your competitors. You need to balance it out. Lastly, you need to decide how much you're going to sell this product for. I can tell you, just because of the information in the book, that this product costs $47 to build. You need to sell it for something so that you generate a profit on each device that you sell. And of course, that profit is your company profit in the end. Let's say we sell it for $93. So we now know that between $47 and $93, we have X number of dollars profit. If we sell all 25,000 of them, we will hopefully make X number of dollars. And we will need to then figure out, based on the expenses that we've incurred, has our company generated an increase in revenue, a profit, or do we have a loss? Because everything we've just done, our customer service budget, our advertising spending, the payment of our salespeople and their commissions, because commissions are factored in as well. Once again, all the numbers are described in here. All of this goes against our marketing budget, which right now stands at $984,000. So you need to make these decisions. Over here, we have market research that you can purchase. You need the market research in order to make decisions for the next year. Each report costs you money, and it's described on page 44 of the textbook. There's a picture on page 44 of this form, and over here is a table which describes what all of the different boxes in here do. So once you decide which reports you want, perhaps the first time you'll want all of them, but you need to understand what each report will provide for you. That is the theory that's in the marketing textbook, not in here. It describes what each report will provide, but you have to decide whether it's of value to you in your decision-making process. And then you choose which reports you want, and the cost of those reports go against your marketing budget. For instance, the first one, I believe, share by segment is $15,000. So in the real world, you'd be spending in your company $15,000 to get that report. Is it worth it?
So this is all about you making choices.
Yes.
And you have to read that, and it'll tell you how much each report costs, right? So you decide among your group how you're going to make those choices.